What's going on, shoppers? Today we're going to be looking at the complete list of 30 mistakes that I see Instacart shoppers making way too often. Now, there is a ton of value packed into this list, so make sure you stay for the full thing, because as an Instacart shopper, you're really kind of running your own business, and if you're making some of these mistakes, they could be detrimental to your business. A lot of these have been very helpful to me. Once I stopped making these, I started earning more money, and some of them are so good that I honestly thought about not even sharing them. But I've decided it's time to pass on some of that good karma. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this list. The first mistake that I see a lot of Instacart shoppers making is not bringing their insulated hot and cold bags into the store with them. Hot and cold items need to be placed into these bags and temperature controlled as soon as they are found. That leads to the second mistake, which is getting hot and cold items first. They should be saved for last so that they are exposed to those different temperatures for the least amount of times. If you're caring too much about item weights, then you could be wasting a lot of time. Customers usually don't care too much if it's off by a little bit. The first time I ever did an order, I spent a little bit too long weighing out bananas looking for the right weight. Just go ahead and grab them. The customer is most of the time not going to care about this at all. Leaving your cart idle for too long could be a huge mistake. Now, I like to do this. I like to leave my cart in one place and then kind of ferry different items back and forth to that cart. But if I'm not leaving insulated bags at the cart or keeping an eye on it, keeping it there for a short time, then it's possible a store member will grab that cart and return the items, which could be a huge setback and end up costing me a lot of time. If you're not asking to be rated at the end of your delivery, you could be leaving a lot of money on the table and making a huge mistake. Assuming that you've done a good job with your delivery, you might as well ask to be rated, because your tips can be adjusted after you've delivered the groceries, and this can lead to higher tips. It's definitely done so in my personal experience. You're not downloading individual grocery store apps. Sometimes the Instacart app shows you where groceries are in the store, but it doesn't always do a great job of doing this. I like to download apps like the Fred Meyer app because they are very precise and they give me a very good idea about where I need to go in the store to pick up those items. You're not using coupon apps to make extra money by getting coupons for the items that you're purchasing in store. I like to use Ibotta, Fetch Rewards, and Checkout 51 to make a little bit extra money while I'm delivering with Instacart. You're trying to do Instacart full time. This is best as a side hustle. If you're trying to do this full time, it's going to be tough to generate that full time income as an Instacart shopper. You're not saving money for year-end taxes. As an Instacart shopper, you're an independent contractor. That means that you are responsible for your own taxes, and you've got to set some money aside so that you can pay those at the end of the year. You're not paying quarterly taxes after year 2. As an independent contractor, you can kind of get away without paying quarterly taxes your first year because you can base those estimates off the previous year when you had no taxes. But come year 2, you actually have to start paying those. You're accepting a lot of downtown orders. This leads to more traffic and a more difficult time finding parking, which can increase the number of parking tickets that you get. This is very expensive. You want to avoid this at all costs. You're not supplementing your income with referral bonuses. If you know somebody that's interested in signing up, give them that referral code so that you can make a little bit of extra money when they sign up. If you haven't signed up yet, you can go ahead and use mine. I will leave it down below in the description. You're buying the carrying bags that Instacart recommends that you buy. You can usually find these cheaper if you buy them yourselves, and the ones that they recommend just aren't that good. You may also be buying a carrying bag that's just too small. You need to make sure that these are large enough to do the trick. I'll leave a link down below to a carrying bag that I recommend for Instacart shoppers. You don't have a battery pack for your phone or a lightning charging cable. Your phone can easily lose its battery while you're delivering with Instacart, and you need to make sure that it stays charged. I'll leave a couple links down below to recommended items that you definitely need to have. You're taking low pay orders. You need to value your time and not take these. Now, it's possible that Instacart's going to send you less orders in the future, but if you're multi-apping, then you shouldn't worry too much about this because you'll have other apps that you can pull orders from other than just Instacart. A trick that I like to use is taking a break as soon as I reject an order, because sometimes if I reject that order, Instacart will just keep sending it back to me. But if I take my break and save it for this time, then it's likely Instacart's going to send it to somebody else, and someone else will pick up that low paying order while I'm on my break. You're looking for items by name, not by their color. It's much easier to pick out items by the color on the shelf, and you're going to save yourself a lot of time by doing this. You're not saving your money that you make when you're delivering with Instacart. Instacart is quick, easy money, and sometimes it's easy to turn around and spend that as quickly as we make it. But if you save for the long term, you're going to be much better off financially a couple years down the road. You're taking batches at grocery stores that are far away. Now, Instacart does reimburse you for mileage, but only between the grocery store and the customer's address. So if the grocery store is far away from your current location, then that mileage is not going to get reimbursed and is going to cost you a lot of money. You haven't invested in a cart for larger orders. Now, it's nice to have those carrying bags, but a cart is going to save your back, and over time, your health is going to become very important. If you're not taking it into consideration up front, then it could wear you down in the long run and make it harder for you to accept more orders and do stuff that you like to do outside of work. You're waiting too long for customers when you're dropping off the groceries. If they're not there after a couple minutes, go ahead, try giving them a call, and then take a photo of the grocery bag in the app by the front door and send that to the customer. Now, it is possible that leaving too soon could get you deactivated, but once again, as an independent contractor, you have to value your time. So sitting around for a long time is kind of just wasting that time, not making you any more money, and it's just a personal decision that you kind of have to make. But personally, I just can't recommend waiting around for too long because you do have to keep making money. You're not being friendly when you deliver those groceries. This is the easiest way to boost those tips and earnings. As I mentioned earlier, your tip can be adjusted after you make that delivery. So having a smile on your face and being friendly is a great way to boost overall earnings and take home more money at the end of the day. You're not multi-apping. Grubhub, Uber Eats, Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, all of these, even Amazon Flex, are good options to supplement income with. If you're relying entirely on Instacart, there might not be demand at some times. You might be getting low paying orders, and it becomes much easier to be picky and only accept the best orders if you have multiple apps going at once. You're waiting around for way too long in parking lots. Unless you're consistently getting orders when you're waiting at these parking lots, then this is going to be a bad strategy because it just means that you're wasting a lot of your time. Go ahead and turn on that other app and start getting orders on a different platform while you're waiting around. You're not parking by a cart rack at grocery stores. This is going to save you a ton of time when you're grabbing that cart and returning it at the end of picking up your order. You haven't considered an in-store roll with Instacart. This is going to save you a lot of money by means of gas and wear and tear on your vehicle because you're literally just finding groceries in the store and you don't have to do any of the driving to the customer's address. You're driving an SUV or a car with really bad gas mileage. Anytime you're doing a job that requires a lot of driving, think about using a small car and a gas efficient car. You're worrying too much about the due time for the delivery. This is mostly important just for your personal metrics, and while these do matter a little bit, it's not really that important, and it is going to improve over time. There's really only so much you can do about it, so just don't think about it too much. You're not using a mileage tracking app. Now, Instacart is going to track your miles, but I always like to do this separately and then just take my total miles at year end and multiply that by the standard deduction rate for mileage, which is about 58 cents currently. Now, this covers all expenses that are car related, so gas and also any wear and tear on your vehicle. It's a lump sum. If you're driving a efficient car with good gas mileage, a lot of times you're going to kind of save yourself a lot of room here at year end, and actually you're going to be estimating more expenses than you actually had, so it's really a generous number.